Hey Jay, thank you for being able to drop by so quickly.
Sandra, we know each other for years now. You can always come over.
Listen Jay, well, I do not know how to start. Can I speak freely?
Of course you can. What is it?
I saw an article about Virt A Mate in the web and want to try it. Can you help me?
Sure. What do you need to know?
I found no really beginner-friendly information in the web. Everything seems so confusing and complicated.
Yes, true. Most of my tutorials focus on creating stuff, but beginners first need to know how to consume content before they can start doing own things.
Yeah, exactly. Beginners need to get a tutorial, which covers all the things that newcomers need to know to get a good and fluent start with V.A.M. This should include V.A.M download, installation, the different Patreon tiers and activating keys. Also the download, installation and usage of all kinds of community contents, as well as updating V.A.M to the latest version should be covered. Do you think this will be possible?
Yes, that should be not a big problem. We will do it together. You ask what you think is important from newcomer point, and I will try to answer. So let's get started. Shoot your questions.
Okay, how to download and install V.A.M.
To find V.A.M in the web, open the browser of your choice, open Google, and then write Virt A Mate. The correct link is the Patreon address. Agree the question about your age and you will find yourself on the Meshed VR landing page. Meshed is the creator of V.A.M. In order to find the download, click on Show More in the first post and scroll down until you find the link to the updater zip download. This is a bit misleading because the updater is also used to do a fresh installation. Choose a folder that is not admin rights protected. For example, do not try to install to the program files directory as this is admin protected. V.A.M needs to be able to write files to the directory you install it in. A valid location could be a new V.A.M folder inside documents or directly on the C drive. Or like I do now, install it on a separate hard disk. Okay, now let's find our new folder and extract the package with either 7-zip, WinRAR or just the Windows internal decompression tool. We have now a new folder named V.A.M Updater, but I strongly recommend to rename this folder with the V.A.M version information. The reason is that we can have several folders for different V.A.M revisions. In case of a major update, we can simply copy this folder to a new one and name the new folder according to the new V.A.M revision. This way we always have the possibility to go back and we have a safe backup in case something goes wrong during the update or if there are problems with the new V.A.M revision. Good, let's run the updater now. If you have a firewall, accept the web access. We can see a list of all the recent releases. As the updater did not find anything in this new folder, he will download the complete installation package. When I just click the install button, the updater will in this case download version 1.18.1.6, but I actually want to opt in for the latest beta version 1.18.2.1, which I found stable enough to use and it has some nice improvements. So I set the hook here and click install. Depending on the current server load and your internet connection, this can take quite a while. I'll do a fast forward at this point. Okay, download has been completed and we now have the two launch buttons for desktop mode and VR mode. And if you are interested in the long changelog, you can review it with the button Patch Notes. The changelog includes the huge list of updates and improvements that have been done over the last months. Under Options, we have the tools to check the V.A.M core integrity, do repairs to the installation, or even sync back to previous revisions if needed. Now let's quickly check how much data has been actually downloaded. Yeah, it's around 15 GB now, only for the basic installation. But the folder will grow massively if you install community content. Means select a big enough drive for your installation.
How to start V.A.M.
To start V.A.M, we have to open the installation folder. In order to run V.A.M in VR mode, you can just double-click the exe file. To launch it in desktop mode, you will most probably use the V.A.M desktop mode batch file. Alternatively, you can also run the updater every time, which also acts as a launcher for both modes. I launch V.A.M now in desktop mode. It takes a bit of time at first launch.
How do I know what V.A.M support tier do I need? What are the differences?
Okay, now we have only the Ready button here, as we currently use V.A.M in the very limited free mode. After loading the standard scene, we can see the basic model in a black environment. And this is the only scene we have in the free mode. But what are the possibilities now with the different tiers? Here is a list of features compiled by community member DJ Clem. Free mode. In free mode you can have only one built-in scene with one person who is possessable. You can customize most aspects of character looks, including the use of imported morphs. You can save and load modified looks. This includes loading community-created looks. You can change character basic hairstyles and clothing, including custom imported clothing, but you cannot customize them. You can use the menus to add or remove parts of the clothing. You can use push posing to reposition models just by pushing and pulling them with the in-game hands, at least in VR mode. You can edit but not create animation patterns, and you can use leap motion if you have the leap motion hardware. But you cannot load community build scenes or save scenes, load custom skins, import clothing using the clothing creator, add plugins, add items like people, things or animations to a scene. You also cannot record animations, and you cannot manually undress models by grabbing and pulling clothes with the virtual hands. Teaser version. Teaser version has all the features available like the free mode, but in addition you can load community created scenes, which is one of the most important features, customize hair and clothing, import custom clothing using the clothing creator, load custom skin textures, access the in-game browser including scene download, load plugins, manually undress models by pulling the clothes off with your in-game hands. Entertainer version has all the features of free and teaser tiers, but can also save scenes and packages. Creator version has all the features of the free, teaser and entertainer version, but can also add items, means can add people, animation patterns, light, properties, environments and so on. And finally, you can record your own animations in the creator version. So basically only in creator version you can start building your own scenes from scratch. If you want to read the tiers information again, you can find this and much more information in the Virt A Mate wiki. To find it, open Google and type Virt A Mate wiki. It is a community maintained site hosted on Reddit. Under New Users Start Here, click on V.A.M and Patreon, and there you have all this info again in written form.
How to get a backer on Patreon and activate my key.
Open Google and type Patreon V.A.M. The first link should be MeshedVR's Patreon page. Click it and select the tier you want to get. A note from my side, I would recommend to take the creator tier at first to get all functionality and try everything. And if you do not want to pay the $8 for it every month, you can always change, pause or cancel the subscription. Even if you cancel, you can use the version of V.A.M which you got at latest forever. There is no expiration. You can now create a new Patreon account by entering username, email address and password. If you are already on Patreon, log in with your credentials. You can review your subscription details. If everything is okay, click on Confirm and you are part of the V.A.M supporting community. Now it is time to acquire your key. The keys are always posted on Patreon and usually sent by email, at least when the new month begins. The easiest way to find the keys is to filter the post by creator or whatever tier you have. Make sure you take the latest key. Only this one works with the latest V.A.M version. Mark the key and copy it with Ctrl+C. Then start V.A.M. Paste the key with Ctrl+V into the field on the lower left side and click on Add Key. If all is okay, the text Key Accepted should appear and you have now the choice between the free version and the tier you have subscribed to. In my case it is Creator. Congratulations, V.A.M is unlocked. You have, depending on your tier, now access to all the advanced functionality and menus, including the load and save section for community created content.
How to find community content for V.A.M.
Beside of the V.A.M Scenes subreddit, the best place to find downloadable content for V.A.M is directory.vamresources.com. Open Google and type V.A.M resources. The site is named V.A.M Scenes Directory. Confirm that you are 18+ and you have access to a whole bunch of content for V.A.M. The directory site regularly browses the posts in the V.A.M Scenes subreddit, categorizes all content into main types, and gives you powerful filter functionalities to find what you are looking for. Scenes, looks, clothing, assets and so on. In standard, posts are sorted by the release date, starting with the latest releases. Most posts contain preview pictures.
How to download, install and use clothing items.
To download community-made clothing items, you activate the filter Clothing on the V.A.M Scenes directory. All clothing posts are listed now, sorted by release date. Newest posts are first and most posts contain preview pictures to get a first impression. By clicking on the images, you are directly forwarded to the related post in the V.A.M Scenes subreddit. Let's try this short dress first. Depending on the post, you can either directly find a download link in the post or you find a link to the creator's Patreon page. Some clothing items are free on Patreon, some not. But you should consider supporting talented creators, as making those clothing assets is really time consuming. Okay, here we follow the mega link. And select Download as zip file. Wait the download to complete. I recommend to set your browser to ask for a download location each time. Else you have one additional step of copying from standard download folder to the correct location for every download. Select the V.A.M directory. I strongly propose to keep and organize your downloaded content outside the V.A.M installation folder. I will create a separate folder for each type. In this case, new folder, and the name is _clothing. Save the download in the new folder. Let's directly download another item from a different creator. In this case, a dress from Energy85. This creator has a Patreon page, so no direct download link here on Reddit. Looking for the correct post? Okay, here's the link. As this free download is stored on Patreon, you have to log in with the same credentials you already use for V.A.M. No worries, you do not automatically pay something to this creator. To do this, you have to subscribe actively like you did for V.A.M. I logged in now and the download window opens. Save the file to the same directory like the previous one. Now for the installation of the items, go to the clothing download folder and unpack both files to separate directories. Then open the V.A.M installation folder in a new window. This makes file handling a bit easier. I'm just arranging the windows a bit. Clothing items have to be stored in custom clothing and then, depending on the item, female or male subfolders. Now we check if the folder path from the packed file is correct. It should be the same path like in the V.A.M directory. Female clothing items shall be stored in custom clothing female artist name clothing name. The folder structure in this pack looks okay. As the path is complete, we copy all files including subfolders of this clothing set to the custom folder in the V.A.M directory. Okay, let's double check if everything is in place. Yes, it is okay. However, sometimes the downloaded pack does not follow this folder convention, as we can see in the next file, mr top long. In this pack we only have a folder with the name of the clothing item. Let's check what happens if we copy this folder directly to custom clothing female. Great, now we can start V.A.M and check out the new community clothing. To load the clothing, open the menu panel, activate edit mode, click on any node of the model, then click select root and finally select the clothing tab. If everything went well, you should see the imported clothing items, which you can activate by setting a hook in the rectangle over the customization button. At first we test the prom dress, where we know the path in the zip file was okay. Then we can remove the red standard clothing. The prom dress has no additional presets included, so when we click on Customize and select Existing, the presets folder is empty. Alright, so now let's test the MR top long clothing item, where we know the full path was not included in the zip file. At load, it already looks different as on the photo. There is no texture on the shirt. It will be even more obvious when we click on Customize, select Existing and open one of the existing preset files. Also here is no texture on the shirt and it looks totally different from what is shown on the preview images. The reason for this is that we did not install the files in the correct folder, as the correct folder was not shown in the zip file. As there are preset files included, we can probably fix this issue. Let's exit V.A.M. Then we go to the folder of the MR top long clothing item and open one of the included preset files with the extension .vap. We do this by use of any text editor, for example Notepad. Scroll down until you find the texture path references. We can now read that the correct installation path is custom clothing female anonymous MR top long. Copy the missing folder name, in this case anonymous, with Ctrl C. Then navigate to custom clothing female and create a new folder named anonymous. You can paste the name with Ctrl V. Finally move the MR top long folder into the anonymous folder. Okay, now the installation path of the clothing files is equal to what is shown in the preset files. Starting V.A.M. again and test. Same procedure. Open the menu panel, activate edit mode, click any node of the model, click select root and then the clothing tab. Now activate the MR top long, open a preset and voila, the textures are there.
How to download, install and use hairstyles.
Our starting point is again the V.A.M. scenes directory site, where we now select hairstyle in the filter section and get a growing list of community hairstyles. Let's test the Morrigan hair from creator Roak22. Okay, the Reddit post leads us again to a Patreon page, this time from Roak, but he released this style for free. So we find the download link and click it. As we are still logged into Patreon, the download will start immediately. And again, I'm creating a new subfolder in my V.A.M. directory where I will store all the downloaded hairstyles. I name it _hairstyles. Now you see the reason for the underscore sign. All the download folders are nicely grouped on top of the directory. And I save the file inside the new folder. Now we open the new folder and extract the hairstyle files. In general, female hairstyles have to be installed in custom hair female artist name hairstyle name. The path in the zip file looks good, so we can just copy the creator name folder, in this case Roak, with the included hairstyle folder to custom hair female. Time to start V.A.M again. Same procedure as with closing imports. Open the menu panel, activate edit mode, click any node of the model, click select root, but then we select the hair tab. There we find all included hairstyles like flirty hair or crayon hair. But as we installed them correctly, we can see as well the downloaded Roark American hairstyle, and we can activate it. But something is missing. Yes, the fringe section for the forehead area. Okay, so this hairstyle consists of two items. Let's see if there is a preset for both under the tab Hair Presets. No, seems not. But we can simply create our own preset for this complete hairstyle. We type a fitting preset name in the text field and click on Create New Preset to do this. Preset saved, now we can take a preview picture. Nice! A short test, selecting a different hairstyle, and now loading the new preset. Yes, both parts are there.
How to download, install and use scene files.
Our starting point is once more the V.A.M Scenes directory site, where we now select Scene in the filter section. Scenes can be complete environments with characters including own looks, animations, sounds, so the full package to load and enjoy. I like dance animations a lot, so let's download this scene as an example. Look for the download link, and here it is, a link to Mega. As this leads directly to a single zip file and no folder, just click on Download. Select the V.A.M directory as download location. As always, for a new download type, I recommend to create a new subfolder for it, so this time it is _scenes. Save the download inside the new folder. Another recommendation is to always add the creator name to downloaded files. If you reuse models, environments or assets in your own scenes, you can easily track who was the original poster and give proper credits in your post. Decompress the files to a new folder. Let's check out what is included. The path is okay. In this case, the zip file only includes a JSON scene file. This is a pure scene file which includes the position, motions and looks of all characters, as well as possibly pointers to V.A.M internal environments, assets, morphs or sounds. It does not include any external community content like extra textures, assets, morphs or sounds. Let's copy the files to the correct folder in the V.A.M installation directory. Scenes have to be installed in Saves, Scene, Artist Name, Scene Name, while the artist name is recommended to keep the folder organized. Okay, now let's download another scene from the V.A.M Scenes directory, in this case the Japanese singer. And we find another mega link which points to a folder including two files. So we download them as zip file and save it to our scenes download folder. unpacking to a new folder, and let's see what is inside. Now we have no JSON scene file, but a VAC file. VAC files are scene bundle files, and they are basically compressed zip files, just with a different extension, so that V.A.M knows what to do with them. VAC files include one or more JSON scene files, but can also include external morphs, sounds, scripts, textures, assets and environments. Now we copy the VAC file and as well its preview picture to our Saves Scene folder, creating an artist folder and copying the VAC file and preview image inside. Starting V.A.M. We can access all scenes, means internal and community scenes, over the main menu's File Open Save tab. Scenes can be loaded in play mode by use of the load button, directly in edit mode, or over the online browser, which is directly linked to the V.A.M scenes directory. We can now load the first scene, but before we do this, I want to point you to the meshed VR folder, which includes scenes that are bundled with the V.A.M distribution. It contains subfolders for all older releases. The default JSON on the bottom is the scene which is loaded at program start. You can replace it with your own preferred starting scene if you rename this one and name your scene default JSON. But now let's check out the two downloaded scenes. First is the dance scene. Okay, this is just a short dance loop. It was obviously made with animation patterns so that it can loop nicely, but there is no audio included. Let's now check out the Japanese singer, which is, as you remember, a VAC file. While loading, V.A.M now extracts the content of the VAC file into a new created subfolder with the name of the VAC file. Okay, here we see some error messages popping up. Let's check them. Oh, and also the hairstyle was not included in the pack, which could be the case if the scene creator used paid assets or hairstyles. So what are those error messages? We can find them in the main menu's File tab under Error Log. Good, this problem is easy to fix. As we did a new installation, we have not yet agreed to allow plugin scripts. So we go to the user preferences and then security. Then read the warning message and accept if you want to do so. I personally do not use the internal browser, so I deactivate it here. Reloading the scene. And no more error messages. By the way, the song is playing nicely, but to prevent copyright issues, I removed it from the YouTube video. Finally giving the lady some hairs. Seems to be cold here. As previously mentioned, V.A.M has extracted all the content of the VAC file to a new created subfolder with the name of the VAC file. This is at least still the case with release 1.18.2. In other words, the VAC file does not necessarily need to remain in the save folder once it has been started for the first time.
How to download, install and use looks.
Back to the V.A.M scenes directory side, and now we filter for looks. And I like the fairy princess, so let's take this look for the demonstration. Okay, again a mega link, which points to a single zip file download. We save it into our V.A.M folder into a new created download folder, especially for all the looks that will come. We name it _looks for a nice grouping with the other download folders. So what is inside this zip file? We have two folders, Custom and Save. Nice, so this includes the source materials as well as a demo scene. There are some assets as well as clothing items, all in the correct folders. This makes it much easier to reuse this look in own scenes. So we can just copy the complete custom folder into our V.A.M installation folder. Then we copy as well the scenes files to the Saves Scene folder. For ease, I just name the folder now MISC. In case creators are new or do not post often, I use the MISC for miscellaneous subfolder for those scenes. In case this changes later, I can transfer these scenes into a separate creator folder. Again, this is a good reason to name the files and folders properly with creator names. Now starting V.A.M. Activating edit mode and load the scene file, which is the easiest way to see the look the first time if no look preset is supplied. Wow, this looks nice. The character includes new clothing, textures and as well assets like the jewelry and sandals. But how to use this nice look now in our own scenes? Resetting V.A.M to get a standard model. If we are lucky, there is an appearance preset included, but else, let's see. No, seems not. First we can check all the clothing items. There are 5 new items here, the jewelry and the dress. But still, the dress somehow does not look good. However, the easiest way now to get the complete look again should be to reload the scene and to save the complete look as an appearance preset. To save the appearance preset, enable edit mode, click on any character node, click select root and then on the tab Appearance Presets. Then give the preset a fitting name and click Create Preset. Finally, take a photo. Appearance presets are saved in Custom, Atom, Person, Appearance. Let's now reset V.A.M and reload our new preset. To load the preset, enable edit mode and select any character node, then select root. Now click on Appearance Presets and select Existing. And there is our fairy. Yes, all there. Dress looks okay and all jewelry and hairstyle is there as well. Appearance presets include the path to the textures, clothing information, morphs, hairstyle settings, but not any data files.
How to add another person and change gender.
Those are easy tasks. First, make sure the 0 position is not occupied by any existing character and that edit mode is enabled. A new character can be added over the Add Atom dialog, which can be reached over the plus sign on the main menu. People is the right category to add a new character. Click it, then on the right side click Person and then on the bottom click Add Atom. The new character is added at position 0 in a standard T-pose. It is quite difficult to position characters in desktop mode, so this should be done in VR mode if possible. To change the gender, we have two possibilities. The first is to load an appearance preset. Click on Select Existing and find the preset in the MVR folder, which includes some bundled appearance presets, male and female, made by Meshed VR. Let's test this one. Oops, looks, we found Adam. Thanks to Meshed VR. Okay, and the other way, which I like more, is to change the texture type, especially when creating a new look. This is the way to go. We click on the tab Skin Select. On page 3 we will find a couple of male skins. Selecting one. So changing gender is pretty easy, isn't it?
How to download, install and use environments.
Yes, the final topic to cover is the use of environments. Let's see if we find a nice one for this tutorial at V.A.M Scenes directory. We select the environment filter now. And I guess this Dragon Park scene is a good choice for now. Aha, here we do not only have an environment delivered as asset bundle, but a complete scene including the asset bundle. This allows me to show how to extract asset bundles and reuse them in own scenes. Download works over Mega. It is a directory, so we click as zip file. As we did not yet download an environment, we create a new folder for those. We name it _environments and save the file in there. Extracting the zip file to a new folder. So, we have a WAC file, instructions and some character poses to use in combination with this environment. Let's copy the WAC file to the Saves Scene folder in the V.A.M installation directory. And we start V.A.M once more. Loading the Dragon Park scene now. Okay, nice. We have a Unity asset bundle as environment, some fireflies and a lady equipped with a gay script. In order to check the details, we need to activate the edit mode. Open Scene Lighting tab and activate Show Skybox. Maybe we could add a fitting sky dome to the scene. So let's try some variants. Okay, this one is good. A visible sky dome does not cost a lot of computer power, but in outside scenes it improves the atmosphere a lot. Alright, now we want to learn how to reuse this environment in our own scenes. Let's reset V.A.M to start freshly by clicking on the Files tab and then on Hard Reset. Activate Edit mode, then click on the plus sign to open the Add Atom dialog. This environment is not visible under Environment, because here we only find the V.A.M internal environments. As we have a community environment, which is a Unity asset bundle, we select the category MISC and then the atom Custom Unity Asset. Finally, click on Add Atom. To find the new asset atom in the scene, we can use the Select tool from the main menu. Okay, it is on position 0 like the female model. Move the model or the Unity asset atom for better access. Under Select File we can find and open the Unity asset bundles. but hey, it's not there. Of course not. The environment was part of the VAX scene file, so we have to copy it into the correct folder for assets. Opening Save's scene folder. The VAC file was unpacked as mentioned earlier, so we can look into the folder. The files we are looking for have the extension .assetBundle or sometimes .scene. We copy the Dragon Park and the Firefly asset bundles and paste them into the folder Custom Assets, where all assets should be stored. But also here I like to keep a good organization and make subfolders for different asset types. This folder can later contain hundreds of assets. I make a new folder for environments and move the Dragon Park bundle into this one. So now let's jump back into V.A.M and see if we can find the assets now. Yes, there they are. After selecting the asset bundle, we also have to select the asset item to load. An asset bundle can contain more than one asset, so this second step is needed. And there it is. We are able to place and position the character freely in the scene. Now we add as well the Firefly asset with exactly the same process like before. Of course, this is only the beginning. You can add lights, persons, animations, sound and much other stuff, but this is not part of this tutorial. I recommend to watch at least tutorial number 12 as a second kickstart for more information about scene building.
How to update V.A.M to the latest version.
Updates are usually announced over the MeshVR Patreon page and for backers as well by email. You can update V.A.M right in place by running the V.A.M updater exe in the installation folder. But at least for major updates I strongly recommend to make a copy of the installation folder and name the new folder according to the new V.A.M version number. Then run the updater in the new folder. This way you always have a possibility to go back and you have a safe backup in case something goes wrong with the update or if there are problems with the new V.A.M version.
Wow, that was a lot of information. Thank you so much, Jay. I think I can get started from here. Goodbye, Jay. I have to jump into VR now.
You're welcome, Sandra. It was my pleasure. And to all watchers on YouTube, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this V.A.M Kickstart tutorial and I hope to see you soon as a creator on Reddit V.A.M scenes or in the V.A.M Discord channel. Bye and have a good time.